Hello, friend. Are you gonna come in the video? Here, hop up so everyone can see you. Hop up. Come on, they can see how handsome you are. Oh, you're shy. Oh, he's a shy baby. I was inspired by Sailor Jerry's awesome post this morning, so I thought I would tag onto that conversation. I've been a vocal proponent of a harm reduction type approach to training horses for many years now. So what that means is that my approach seeks to reduce the harm that horses are exposed to and they experience. So if someone asks me what my approach to training is, they ask me, am I a horsemanship trainer? Am I, what we would call a balance trainer in the dog training community? Am I a force-free trainer or a purely positive trainer? I don't label myself as any of those things. I think about how I work with horses more from a harm reduction approach. And a while ago, I took some guidelines for harm reduction with people and I adapted them to training horses. And we talked about this on my podcast, and I've written a blog about it and written in other places about it. But it's this adaptation of these principles of harm reduction with people I find really helpful for my work with horses. So, number one, it accepts that aversive or harmful training methods exist, and it seeks to reduce their harm, not just condemn them. It's not enough just to say, oh my God, these bad things are happening and it's awful and people shouldn't do it and people are terrible for doing it. We should accept that they happen, but also try to reduce their harm. And that's where the emphasis should be, is really trying to reduce the harm that horses are experiencing. Number two, it recognizes that horse training is complex and methods range from what we might call force-free to the other end of the spectrum, what we might call coercive or even abusive. And a harm reduction approach promotes safer, less harmful methods. That's what it's all about. Just, can we be safer? Can we be less harmful? Number three, it focuses on improving the animal, the owner, and the community's well-being over enforcing a total ban on things like the use of training techniques that involve aversives. So the focus, again, is on general well-being of all the stakeholders involved, not just getting fussy about, well, we can't use this technique or we can't use this tool. It's much bigger than that. Really importantly, number four, it promotes non-judgmental, supportive help to reduce the harm of forceful training methods. If you're judging people and if you're making people feel that they can't come to you, it makes it much harder to affect any change in this industry. A harm reduction approach also involves the people that have real lived experience living with horses that have behavior problems or training problems, and it involves them in shaping policies and programs. Because a lot of the time what happens is, position statements and policies and things like that are made without any input from people actually living in the real world, and that's a big problem. Taking this approach really empowers people who might currently be using more harmful methods to lead change and support others within their community. If we want to improve the lives in an even bigger way, taking this approach and empowering people and helping them to lead change is just going to lead to more change, not only within them, but for their horses as well. A harm reduction approach understands that trauma, inequality, and personal history influence the training choices that people make. It's not a black and white issue, this really simple issue where if you use a training method X, you're a bad person. That's a really harmful and simplistic way of viewing what really is a very complex issue. And number eight, a harm reduction approach acknowledges and directly addresses the real risks and consequences of harmful methods. It doesn't shy away from the fact that certain things that are done with horses are indeed harmful, and it acknowledges those risks while trying to still affect change. That's my approach to horse training and behavior modification.